is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. We are going to be working on the race truck today. We got something very cool. It's sitting in the bed already. We got to install that, get everything situated there. What you guys just saw in the beginning of this video was we are having a serious camber problem. We look like a rice burner with the negative camber up front. So what we just did, and this is an option on two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. You can do this if you're having a problem getting your caster and camber adjusted. There is a bushing on all factory Ford OEM axles. There's a bushing that goes in the upper ball joint, and you can actually get adjustable ones. This is the part number that I got, which is for two-wheel drive trucks. On this thing, and it allows us positive and negative 4 degrees of caster and camber adjustment, basically all in that upper bushing which the ball joint comes up through. So we made our eyeball adjustments, and as you can tell, it actually really looks like it worked. Let me flip this camera. So this kind of gives you a little bit better of an idea. I think I'm at the max setting of positive 4 camber, and we might have to adjust it a little bit more, but we're going to let the alignment shop do all of that work. We just wanted to make sure we weren't going to destroy our tires while we do test driving in this thing. So I'm super happy that we got that thing squared away. As far as our alignment goes, we'll get that thing to the alignment shop, let them do their stuff over there. It is the first week of March here in Michigan. I'm so excited. It is finally going to start warming up. Right now, it's like 35 degrees in the barn. We got like one more cold week, and then it's going to be 40 degrees, which means a lot more stuff is going to be happening because we are going to be pushing to get this thing back out on the road so that we can start driving this thing all the time. As far as the rear suspension goes, guys, I think I don't know. I think I might come down just a little bit. I think she's got a little too much rake. It looks kind of goofy. I'm thinking we'll drop it just a little bit more in the rear and kind of go from there. But let's go check out what we got in the bed of the truck. We're going to be installing something so cool today. I'm so excited. There's a whole bunch to talk about, so hopefully you guys don't hate me for talking too much in this video, but there's a lot of action with this install, so very excited. Let's get to it. All right, so if you didn't pick up on what we are installing, we are putting in our fuel cell. So finally, we are going to be getting rid of our canister freaking fuel cell up there, and we are going to a legit fuel cell setup. We got our straps over there. I am so happy I went with this version over an Amazon version. I actually bought this through Summit Racing. The Amazon one was only like 150 bucks. This one was like 250. So I'm really happy that I went with the more expensive one. RCI Racing is the one that makes this one. It's got a 0 to 90 ohm resistor. It is all -8 fuel lines, all -8 AN style fittings is what I mean. It's got a built-in rollover valve right here, so there's a valve or a little ball inside of there. That would be for event or return. We can use this one as an event, as a vent. And then obviously down here we have our feed as well. So, and then just a quick aircraft style, pop it, twist, and it pulls right out just like that. What's a really cool feature, which you can't really see inside of there right now, is it is baffled. So we won't have to worry about our fuel slushing around inside of this thing and hitting the walls really hard or anything like that. So I'm super stoked. Just so happy with how this thing has come out and how it sits here. It does have a sump at the bottom here, which you can see. So we are going to be recessing the bed in order to do that, and we're going to have it face this way. I'm going to get into all the installation details here in a minute, but so happy that I went with this. 20 gallons of diesel fuel. The Jet A is going to be going in it. It's going to be awesome. Picked up our 0 to 90 ohm fuel level piece here that we're going to be putting in as well. I'm going to go over all of that. Obviously, we have all of our fittings that we're going to need, and we have all of our 1/2-inch push lock. Everything is going to be super nice, super clean install here. We're going to bolt it directly to the bed. We're going to cut our hole for the sump part of it there, and this thing is just it's going to be great, guys. So stay tuned. All right, so a couple things before we start cutting. You can see we've kind of started to drill out our corners. We're basically going to be chopping this piece out in order for our sump to sit down inside of there. We've accounted for our fittings that are going to be coming off. Those will sit back here, and they will route this way. I'll be able to nicely, cleanly just run everything along the frame rail and everything. You can see we have a little bit of a dent right here. I'm going to have to bump on that a little bit, get that pushed back out in order to make sure we have plenty of room, but we've got everything centered up here. Now, the reason we're going to have the fittings facing this way versus facing forward is because we want to make sure that the sump is filled at all times. So if we ever, for some reason, are getting low on fuel, all the fuel will be going to the sump, especially when we're going forward because of, everything. The force is going to be pulling the fuel to the back of the fuel cell. That's mainly why we want all of our fittings to be, the feed fitting at least, to be in the back. Especially, too, when we launch, we want all the fuel to go to the back, and we never want to have any issues with fuel supply. It is baffled in here front, actually. The piece goes across like that, and then it goes that way, and then there's slits in between it to allow fuel to come this way. That's where our sending unit is, so it kind of protects the sending unit, but also keeps it from sloshing back and forth when we're going down the road. So we are going to kind of etch this out a little bit, make our cut, and then set this thing in there. We have our fuel cell hold downs here, our straps and everything with a hardware, so that will ground our fuel cell to the bed and to the chassis and everything. And then we will get this thing filled up. We'll get our ohms, we'll get our lines ran. Be one step closer. Let's get cutting. And there we are. All right, so our hole is cut. We are going to be cutting, this is the very back bed support back here. We are going to be notching this as well. We're just going to notch it up like that, come around, boom, boom, boom. The reason we don't want to go further back is because we have another across. Remember, that comes across there, and I'd rather have the fuel cell, where is it? I'd rather have the fuel cell be as far back as possible, get that weight as far back as possible for good transfer when we're launching at the track. So, we're going to chop this one up back here a little bit, and then, yeah, this is intense here. But who knows? Someday we might chop out the whole freaking inside of the bed here. Who knows? So, I'm not really too concerned about it. Let's just keep cutting and get that out of the way. Ooh, look at that, boys. She is in. She's sitting nice and flat on the bed here. We got plenty of room up front for our fittings. I wanted to cut it like this so that we could tighten these from up top. We can check for fuel leaks up top. We don't have to crawl underneath the truck to check for anything like that. This makes everything really nice and easily serviceable if we ever need to go back into this thing. We got that little opening right there. I'm not sure if it matters as far as tech inspection goes. I don't know. So I just played it safe. Went like this, and man, does it look good. Looks really good sitting in there. We are gonna go ahead and strap the tank down next. I got 2 flat plates, and then those, and then it came with some hardware. Okay, so jumping forward a little bit here, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to put the long straps underneath the bed because we got bed supports and all that other crap going on underneath there. But what I was able to do was finagle these perfectly through one of the slits like this in the bed. And we drilled our holes, we got that situated, and then these will go over top. And then what I'm thinking is we'll have a nut or a bolt, a big washer, go through, another washer on the back side, and then put the nut on the bottom, which will actually be underneath the bed. And that will bolt everything to the bed as well as secure this fuel cell perfectly. It'll ground completely to the bed, which is grounded to the chassis and everything. So it will work out perfectly. Everything's coming together really nice. We're going to go ahead and throw these on. We got our hardware over there. We're so close. Yo, there she is, boys. Our straps are completely bolted in. This sucker ain't going nowhere. We are gonna go ahead and move on to our routing of our fuel lines. I think what I'm gonna do here, what I wanna do is cap this off. This is supposed to be for your return, but the problem I have with this is there is no straw that comes down. So I'm worried about aeration in the fuel. So I think what I'm gonna do is actually return back to our other port down here in the sump. That will keep our sump filled literally all the time with returning fuel. The only problem I see with returning it here is that the fuel will be, I guess, maybe a little bit hotter versus the fuel that if it were to return up here, we'd have more fuel in here to kind of cool it down a little bit. So we might be getting a little bit of a hot, maybe a little bit warm fuel going back up to the truck. I don't see it being a huge problem. This is not, 6 liters are a Huey injection system. They're not primarily based off of high fuel pressure. So not overly concerned about the fuel temperature. So what we're going to do is we're going to cap this off there. We're going to have a 90, or actually I guess this is a 180. 180 fitting right here off of our rollover. And basically what this will do, that will go straight down, and we have to drill a hole at the bottom of the tank there, or not at the tank, on the bed, and put a line on there, Pushloc, to go underneath the fuel cell per some of the regulations that they have with a fuel cell at the racetrack. We got our fuel lines ran up along the frame rail there. This line here is our return line, which hopefully you guys can kind of see. That's how our return line is going to be. We're going to route it right along this back piece here and then up and into our little 180 fitting there. Our feed line right there, which is going to come around just like that. And boom, go right into there just like that. So that is perfect. We absolutely have to do some shortening, some zip ties along the frame rail, but that thing is going to work perfectly. I'm so happy. This we are going to fill up. All of that should fit inside of it, and then we are going to get our gauge hooked up. All right, so I want to show you guys a little bit of a trick here that I've learned about this Pushloc style fittings. Is get some of this stuff, your brake clean, right? I want you to spray it on the end of this. And just put a little bit in the hose. Push it together. Anybody who's dealt with this stuff before knows how much of a pain it can be. I gotta go one more. Just like that. Boom. You're good to go. Makes it a lot easier. Believe me. So just like that, we got both of our feed and return line, our return line here, our feed line here. Everything's rigged up on the fuel cell. We also have our vent line here, which you can see there. Basically just makes a 180, goes straight down, and then per the regulations that I've read about, it has to go beneath the sump. So as far as how far that line goes down, we went through the bed, and then it's about an inch further down than the actual sump. Like I said, this is just in case the thing flips over, the fuel doesn't come out of the vent. Now you guys are gonna have to, you guys might have to teach me a few things here, because this is my first time ever setting up something like this. I'm not sure if I'm gonna have any issues. I'm not sure if it's gonna be spilling out of there. I don't really know. So if you guys have any suggestions or know anything about rules and drag racing and how fuel cells should be set up and how to run the vent and do all that stuff, please leave a comment down below. Okay, so jumping forward a little bit, we got some stuff cleaned up. We will go ahead and turn the key on, see what happens. Then maybe we'll fire this thing off. This thing hasn't ran in about 2 weeks, so we'll see how she does.
So there it is, guys. We don't have any leaks on the race truck for the fuel system. It is pretty much completely set, ready to go. We do need to finish wiring up the fuel level. That way we know how much fuel we have in the fuel cell back there. But I have something coming that kind of goes along with the gauges and everything. So I'm going to make that as kind of a separate video on just gauges for the race truck. And then for those of you that have made it this long in the video, I know this has been kind of a long, drawn-out video. The reason we haven't posted in the last 2 weekends is because we went and picked up another truck. So if you made it this far in the video, congratulations. You guys got the sneak peek preview information on the new truck that we bought. Put your comments down below. Take your guess. What do you think we got? I'm very, very excited about this. It's kind of replacing something that was taken from me a while back. Little hint there on something that we got. So very exciting. Super stoked. The OBS project might get pushed out of the way a little bit, and if you know about the OBS project, that's because you're one of my Instagram followers, so make sure you guys go over there and follow my Instagram, because you guys are getting some huge sneak peeks of the race truck and everything else that's going on the channel. So anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Very, very exciting. We are so close. It's finally starting to warm up here in Michigan, so before you know it, we're going to be taking this truck to the racetrack, and that's going to be so exciting. So thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. Sorry if I made this too long. Sorry if I talked too much. Whatever. Leave your comments down below. Make sure you like this video. Subscribe if you're new, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.